Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We are back with another unboxing video. This is yet another of the goodies that arrived in my dirty little fingers from Compass Games Expo. And I was very fortunate to be able to pick this particular game up. This was, as far as I can tell, one of the last 3 copies of Hearts and Minds, Vietnam, 1965 to 1975. Now this is the newest Compass Games edition from talking to the folks at Compass. This sold out. It is sold out now, and it's sold out in about 3 months. So it's a highly regarded game. Of course, Compass is not the original publisher, but they have done the last 2 printings of it. It looks really good. I cannot wait to open this guy up. So looking at the back, we got the designer John Paniski, the developer Stan Helinski, and the artist Kurt Grunitz. So let's open her up and take a look at what we got. It's a quite heavy box. It's 2-inch box, pretty standard. This is the standard Compass Games box. Although I feel like the more recently printed Compass Games have been in somewhat thicker boxes. So we'll see how this feels when I get it open. It's a bit tight. Yep, I totally agree. This is a quite thick box. Look at these giant ass dice. Wow. Okay. So, and red and blue, which is a little weird, but okay. So we have 2 decks of cards, which look like they are, in fact, the same deck. These are not shrink wrap. They're in like a little tapey thing, which is interesting. Usually this kind of stuff comes shrink wrap. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's okay. So we'll get to take a look at these in a minute. This is, of course, card-driven game, a card-driven area map. We'll look at the map in a moment as well. But we have a rule book. Interesting. Okay, so one of the things, the main game here appears to be unchanged from the very well-respected previous editions, but there is also a Solitaire play guide, which I think people had some issues with. So I don't know if this has been really repaired or not. I would have to look into that. But there is a separate, looks like 8-page, full-color, glossy Solitaire play guide here. So that's interesting. We'll take a look at that later. And there's a rule book. So the rule book is 36 pages. Again, it's glossy, it's full color. We got a whole bunch of folks that got dedications in the back. A very sharp rule book. So this actually looks pretty interesting. And like I said, it's a pretty, I think everybody knows that's watching this video, this is a pretty well-regarded game. The print in the rulebook, it's pretty well illustrated. I wouldn't say lavishly illustrated, it's certainly colorful. But the print's pretty big, so even though it's 36 pages, it looks like there's only 18 pages of actual rules, and then it gets into example of play. So this does not look, although the page count itself is not a great indicator necessarily of a game's complexity, this does not look extraordinarily complicated. We have some baggies, which is something else that I haven't actually seen in any of the Compass games I have, are baggies. So it's good to have them. I'll end up using them somewhere. As you may know, I am not the world's biggest fan of storing the pieces in baggies. However, I'm also increasingly enamored of being able to put the components in the box. So this may get baggied. We'll see what happens with that. So we get a couple of player aids. These are on a relatively but not extraordinarily thick, again, glossy cardstock. There's 2 of these. Here we have some flowcharts, actually. Is this part of the Solitaire system? That is a great question. It does not say that on this card. So I'm going to assume that that is, in fact, not the case. We have some counters. Now, these are interesting. We have 3 counter sheets, and these look like about 3/4-inch pre-rounded counters. This is totally a game that I am going to put in baggies and keep in the box, which is good. Again, you know, I really want to keep this stuff in the box. So we got blue counters, we got green counters, we got red-ish, orange-ish counters. These guys, which I'm guessing are might be Viet Cong or something, they are in fact Viet Cong. And it looks like there are some hidden values here, although there's not a ton of the ones with the higher values. Interesting. So it looks like we have tried and untried sides on these guys. That is also interesting, and a variety. These actually, the veteran sides actually all look the same. The untried sides all look the same. Presumably these are the Arvin units. That sounds right. I'm not sure what these are. So I'm not the world's greatest expert on the Vietnam War, and in fact, I am really not that well informed on the subject, but I tend to use war games as a vehicle for learning more about those conflicts. So another thing we have, and I believe this is new in this edition, is a mounted map. Now, as you may recall from my unboxing video, I'm not sure I ever did an unboxing video of it actually, of Decision Games' first mounted map. I was concerned because they had never done a mounted map before, and I have seen some pretty shabby mounted maps. So this is the first look I am getting at a Compass Games mounted map, and I am pleased to report that it looks pretty nice. There is a little bit of popping on here, so you'll have to flatten this somehow. Actually, it looks like it will require relatively little prompting to lay flat. Quite a handsome map. This looks like it's got a sort of 3D style to it. We've got, of course, South Vietnam here, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, which is probably not a playable area, and a little section of North Vietnam. And some tables. It looks like most of the needed tables for the game, I'm not sure how much of this you're getting in the frame, are on the map, which is always nice, on both sides of the map for that matter. And is something that I think modern component designers have somewhat gotten away from in favor of putting that stuff on player aids, which is also fine. But having them on the map is nice. You're not going to lose them or say, oh crap, where'd the player aid go, and spend 10 minutes looking around for it, which I personally have done. We did that once and then learned after 10 minutes of looking around for the OCS rulebook that we had actually forgotten the OCS rulebook. But because it's OCS and it was us, we of course played the entire day just without it, and we're basically fine. We would just gotten in a pinch if we had had a rules discussion, which we still do. So these are some pretty handsome components here. Like I said, this is now officially out of print. So you're going to probably, there should be, as of this posting, there should still be some floating around in distribution. So if you have a hobby shop that actually carries Compass Games, they may still be able to get this. If you want it, I'd get it now. It looks like we have roughly, 110 cards here. I'm going to guess. I'm not going to bust the cards out right now since I would be basically Googling and goggling over the colors and the numbers without any understanding of what this stuff does. Interesting dice choice. I will probably not use these dice. These are huge. These are like novelty dice in my opinion. So that's an interesting choice. I wonder if that's in every copy. That's really weird. Super sturdy box too. The thickest box I've seen on a Compass. That's interesting. It is a pretty new game. And a couple of the other games I picked up from them are also pretty new, but not all of them are. So, Hearts and Minds, Vietnam. This is the third printing, I believe. This is the latest edition as of late 2019 from Compass Games. I am told this is getting a reprint. You would think that since it's sold out in roughly 3 months, that would be the case, and that will be the case. In the meantime, try and get some through the distribution chain. You should still be able to score a copy if you are attentive right now. So thanks for watching. More videos on the way. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video if you have enjoyed it, and leave me any questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.